Hello. Welcome to my show. My name is Joseph Mbele. Some of you know me, some of you don't. But I'm a Tanzanian. I teach here in the USA at St. Olaf College. I'll be talking today with a very special guest. She's been on my show several times, and it's always a pleasure to have her. And I'll ask her to say a word.
Hello, it's me again, Lulu Kililuck, with our Fireside talk with Professor Mbele. So I'm excited about the topic today because it is something that it's a problem that is really common. I've met many people who are struggling with this issue, and so now it's up to you to to mentor some people who are not as close to you as I am right now.
Yeah. The issue is writing.
Yes.
And being a published author. Lulu here is now a published author. And then I've watched her struggle with her first book. And it was a pleasure to work with her. She was persistent, but she really knew what she was doing. She has written this book, essentially reflections on her growing up in Cameroon. Growing up in Cameroon. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about this.
It's about growing up in Cameroon and growing up in a place where conformity was a norm, yet I was the one person that did not like conformity. So it's just about, in as much as it's like a biography, it's also about just talking about people who feel different and out of place in certain systems.
Exactly. Being different, being I don't like to say outsider, but non-conformist.
Non-conformist, because you're not an outsider. It's just that your environment does not accept your own way of thinking and your own way of doing things.
It's a remarkable story. It's a remarkable story, and I think it's very well told. I've enjoyed, working with Lulu on this book. It's a small book, but a very powerful record of, what it was like growing up. And now that you are thinking about it all as an adult, you have a way of interpreting what happened and why. And you are now able to look critically at our cultural values, at our culture. How it impacted you, how it is impacting other people, and the hardships that individuals undergo in systems, cultural systems, which want to force them
to be cultural systems that do not honor their individuality.
Exactly. It's a very insightful interrogation of that problem. And once again, I really like the book. And now that it is published, you have joined the ranks. And maybe we can talk about this a little. I have the experience of having the book published. I've published a few books. I think
Chicken and the Boss and the African Americans. Those
Africans
are the two
and
copies
Americans.
I have here.
There are copies right behind us. You publish your book, and then initially you have mixed feelings. Honestly, you have mixed feelings. You even wonder, what have I done? That kind of thing. How are people going to respond? Oh, why did I do this? And then maybe your first reader, shows up and they say, oh, we read your book, and then a few more readers and a few more readers,
Yes. Just yesterday I was talking to one of my readers, and I have known them for about 20 years. But it was just yesterday that we touched on the aspect of religion that's in the book. And I got to understand that the issues I have about religion, they also have it. Yes. So not because they are coming from the same struggles like myself, but the way they were brought up in the religious system. That one of them was Catholic, but was never a devout Catholic. For the same reasons about not wanting to conform to laws that they did not find personally appealing. Let me put it that way. And the other one was a Lutheran, but became Catholic. So also having the challenges of just living in with a different religion and different sets of religious laws that do not really make any difference in their relationship with God. And they said, so now I understand why you stopped going to church. And I said, yes, it is not about, I'm not fighting with God, but I don't feel comfortable in certain religious spaces. And I don't want to maintain a relationship that is, I feel uncomfortable in.
So that honesty is what makes, writing, in my view, a worthwhile enterprise.
Yes.
And meaningful.
Yes.
You tell your story the way you want to tell it, and when you are done, there's a sense of relief and satisfaction.
A sense of relief, and then also a sense of responsibility. Because what I put out there, it is my story, but I realize it's affecting other people. So I am really careful not to say, especially when people start talking to me about their experiences, I try so much not to be an irresponsible how should I put it? I just try not to be responsible, because they talk to me because they want to share that experience. And sometimes they'll ask me for my opinion. And I always have to go back and remind people that it is a personal journey. It might resonate with your own journey. But you have to be introspective. Look at the factors in your life, the facts of your own circumstances that are pushing you that way. I can only look at the facts of my own circumstances. I don't want to generalize the journey. That's what I'm talking about, being responsible. I don't want to be responsible for someone say, oh, I read your book and I was mad with the church and I left the church. No, that's not your experience. It's mine. Leave the church because you have your own experience. You understand? You have your own experience that's driving you to leave the church. Don't use my own experience as an excuse.
Absolutely.
For you to,
Absolutely. That's one of the values, of writing a book. People come out, now that you have led the way, you've told a story that perhaps they themselves would have wanted to tell, and then they come out and confess. And they are happy that somebody said, this or that or the other thing. And one of the things that is important for me, at least, is this. We live only once. You are born at a certain time and place. You spend your life here. It's not a long life. But writing a book, you have left a mark. It will stay there, indefinitely. That book will be there as a record of your existence in this world. I really would like to encourage everybody to write their book.
It is something that I do right now. When I see somebody saying something, have you ever think about writing? Think about writing, think about publishing. I keep encouraging people to write because I am experiencing the impact of this book.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you realize there is so much that is unspoken in society that needs to be spoken.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Every person has a story.
A story which is so important.
Yeah.
Yes. It has a way of relating with other people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It might not be your story, but there's always a connection with that person's story, which is important for you in your own journey.
Yeah. We would all be very rich if all those stories were available.
Yes.
Something to learn, we seek or we get affirmation, maybe of something we ourselves believe in, or we learn a lesson from how somebody overcame, some problem.
Sometimes it's even to see how people, the different perspective of things. Like I've had people read the book and like, oh my dear, don't worry, God loves you, and they start to try to preach to me about God loving me, and I just have to remind them, I don't think I said in that book that God didn't love me. Yeah, you understand? No. What I say about religion is about religion. It's not about my relationship with God. Those are two separate things. I don't confound religious stuff with God. God, to me, God is completely separate from religion, though religion is part of their journey to God or whatever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing more valuable than having the opportunity to tell your own story.
Yes.
Yeah. Instead of, just being there and people think this about you, they say this about you, and we as a people, Africans, for example, other countries, other people from outside, writing about us
all the time,
all the time, and
it gives the impression that we are not, we don't have a mind of our own.
Yeah, misrepresenting us.
Yes, somebody has to tell our stories.
Yeah.
We can tell our stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, we can absolutely tell our stories.
Yeah. One of the challenges, in my view, is this. You will quickly realize that now that your book is out, you need to do the work of getting people to know that there is that book there.
Yes.
And so strategies of, informing, potential readers. Yeah. So don't depend on publishers.
No, they don't do any work for you. They just publish it.
They cannot. They cannot do justice to all the books they publish.
No, they cannot.
Yeah, they will need a big budget. Yeah. They don't have the time. They don't have the staff.
Yes.
And many writers, new writers, might not know this, that the work of publicizing the book really belongs to the author.
To the author, yes.
Yeah.
It belongs to the author and nobody else.
Yeah.
Anybody else can help you, but you, the author,
you have to take the lead.
Yes,
you take the lead.
Yes.
And so I like to go to book events. Book events. I'm there, I've paid for a table or a booth.
Yes.
And I lay my table there. The books are there. People come. And the most important thing I've realized when people come is that they really want to know you. And they want to know what makes your life tick,
Yes.
what interests, drive you, the things you are passionate about.
Yeah.
And so I tell people, it's not about going there to sell books. No. It's going there to present yourself, connect with people. They get to know you and the things you are passionate about. They probably will ask, oh, did you write these books? Yes, I did. What are they about?
Yeah.
That's when you take the time to now talk about the book, because somebody has asked you. Otherwise, people are interested in knowing you. People want to connect with the things that really interest you and you are passionate about.
Yes. And sometimes you might have support from the most unexpected sources.
Exactly.
There was somebody that I knew would do above and beyond to read the book and give me feedback. But to this date, the person has not, and I've been asking. He said, "Oh, you know, when I have to go through this method before I get to the book," and I'm like, okay. But that was somebody that I really expected a lot from. So it is also a sign for us to know that it is good to be open to everybody. Don't limit yourself to only the people that you think can be of value to you, because everybody brings in value into your work. Because this person who is not giving me that feedback that I so much desire from that person, it's also teaching me something.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm also learning. I'm not mad at that person because I've had a lot of feedback. But what I realized, I was just looking for this person's feedback. Yes. But I've had a lot of feedback from so many other people that I did not even know they would be interested in reading the book. A lot of feedback from people that I did not know at all. Yes.
And that's what happens.
Even people who borrow the books from their friends, they give you a feedback. Yes, they did not even buy the book directly, but they borrowed the book from somebody else who had it. They will give you feedback. So it's to be open to every avenue.
Yeah, you learn a lot from people.
Yes.
Yeah. In this book events, for example, people actually open up and tell a lot of their own stories. Yeah, and you know, you make connections, new connections. They will tell you about maybe other books, or they might suggest, you know, you should come and speak, you know, at my church, or you know, I run this organization somewhere, you know, I think you could make a good speaker for us, especially the kind of things you are writing about. Yeah, people who work with you know, adolescents, and people who work with you know, young people who work with
humanities in general.
In general,
yes.
And a book gives you credibility, you know, once you've published. In this culture, in this country, you know, writing a book already affirms you as some kind of authority in that field.
In the field,
They really respect that. In fact, they look at you like, wow, you have published a book. And you are like, yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's a culture that values books, it seems to me. And one of the things I notice, if there's a book event, people come very early. You know,
really?
They come there very early, and there's always a stream of people until closing time. Oh yeah, they come very early, and they are very curious. And I've begun to enjoy participating in these events. It's a give and take. You tell them a lot, but they tell you a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. And they give you advice, you know, they encourage you, they ask questions. It's always a full day when you are in a book event. We are going to do some of those. One is coming up very soon. I think I mentioned it to you.
Yes.
The Minnesota Black Authors Expo.
Hopefully by then, that second book will
the second one should be there. And it will be a lot of fun, you know, talking about all this. So I was talking about, you know, marketing, you know, promoting. But one thing I would say is, even if your book is not, you know, getting picked up by a lot of people, just know that it will always be there.
Yes.
Some of them, you know, some of these things come in a seasonal kind of way. There will be a time when, you know, suddenly there's a lot of interest in what you write, you know, in your book. Sometimes, you know, things come that you don't even expect. You know, look at the example of my own book, you know.
Yes.
Suddenly one day, out of the blue, you told me you want copies for a school in Cameroon.
Yes.
It was not expected.
No.
Yeah. So things like that. The few people who read your book, they are very likely going to be the people who will tell other people,
Yes.
About your book.
Yes.
And you don't know, what kind of networks they have.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you do what you can do, but then those people themselves also, help spread the word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, as you said, there's a season and there's a time.
Absolutely.
In the time of Shakespeare and Chaucer and everything, they were popular in their days.
Yeah.
But their readership was not as big as when I read those books.
Yeah.
And they were not even alive then.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were not even alive then.
That's what I was saying.
Yes.
So the book
the
is still
legacy
there.
just lived on with them.
The book
Yes.
is still
And
there.
we will still go and say, Chaucer said this.
Yeah, yeah.
The poet Don John said this,
And it will never end.
It will never end.
Yeah. This book will outlive you, and that's what's really important about it.
Yes.
As I said, you establish a footprint.
Mm-hmm.
The world 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now will know there was somebody called Lulu Kililuck. And this is what she thought about life.
Yes.
Yes. This is, her philosophy. This is, her way of interpreting, the reality.
Education, culture, religion, socio-political or socio-economic life. Yes.
Yeah. I'm personally very satisfied with that. And I have a YouTube channel, and I remember one of the videos on the channel, I talked about books that don't sell, because there are so many people out there who write a book believing or hoping it will sell millions of copies.
Oh, yeah.
But I recorded this video trying to put these people at ease. So they know that the fact that they've written their book, if it is an authentic kind of thing that they did, that in itself is enough. And the idea of selling it is secondary. The primary thing is for you to express yourself, to get rid of what you wanted to get rid of. That is a great goal in itself.
As I'm working on the second book, I am so excited.
Yeah.
And then I can just feel my brain there's a rejuvenation that has taken place in my brain. It's not as cluttered or as crowded as it used to be before.
Exactly.
And it's just because I started taking out all these things that I had stored in my brain.
Exactly.
And it's coming out now.
Exactly.
I'm decluttering the brain by writing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has so many other effects, not just the financial, but even just the moral, physical, emotional support that it gives you. Yeah, it's way beyond what you can even think that you can get from somebody else, or you can get from a psychiatrist or what else. It is more for me. The writing was more powerful than going to a psychiatrist or whatever professional to sit in a chair and say, "Oh, this happened to me when I was young, and that happened to me." No. For me, the writing was like, okay, I tell my story, it happened, and I'm over that the stress of that
exactly.
Those things right now. I am absolutely over them now. When I write about them now, I write in a more introspective way, which is fun. For me, it's fun and it's important. I start realizing the importance of putting down this message for other people to read.
Exactly.
Yes. So I write now even in more careful terms than I did even writing this one. You see the second book, I'm more meticulous.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. The experience serves you well.
It serves you well, yes, to write.
Yeah. So I'm glad we are on the same page there. I feel the same way with my own writing. It has its own validation, just the fact of me having produced what I produced and putting it aside So maybe, we can,
Leave this at this today.
yeah. It was just a little, conversation
Chit-chat.
about where we are,
Yes.
as writers, and encouraging each other, and knowing that we are on the right path.
Yeah.
And we will continue. We will continue. Yeah. We hope to make an impact, to influence people, and to at least leave a mark, to have our voice out there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very valuable. Yeah. Well, we can switch it off, yeah.